Okay. And now are you ready?
Yeah.
Wait. I don't think he ever picks anyone who thinks that they're hot stuff, but that's kind of like the ideal candidate that God's like, all right, who doesn't have their life together, who's too young, who's unqualified. That's my kind of employee. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Hey Meg.
Hey Jonathan.
I can't even begin to express how excited I was when Emily started like punching me. Meeg's here! Meeg's here!
Arno, Meeg.
Arno! Meeg!
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
So, you've been gone all semester. Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, I decided to... it's kind of a long story, but...
We got about 2.5 hours.
Oh, true. Okay. So, I'm currently working at a church that I used to go to in high school as their office manager and preparing to go to Albania for 3 months next semester. But how I got to where I am right now is I was originally supposed to do my internship to Albania in the summer. And over time through last semester, I just felt like I needed to push it off and kind of take a break from... There's just a lot going on.
You were going to go over this past summer. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
So, because like your junior year of college, you typically do... Mm-hmm. Well, you typically do your internship right before your senior year. And so... I had decided that I was going to do this internship, but I just kind of felt uneasy or like uncertain of if I should go in the summer or just take some time off and just kind of reevaluate some things and take care of myself a little bit. And so decided to push my internship off. And over the summer, I just was at home, kind of chilling, trying to find a job. But I feel like that was such an important time for me to just rest and not be so go. And so then during the summer, I just kind of had a thought and felt like God was speaking to me of like, I think you should stay home. I think you should finish your senior year online. And so that's kind of like I guess I would say scary thought because I wasn't sure what was going to take place or what was going to happen. And so at the time I was working at just a little retail shop in my hometown. And that was such a blessing for me because it wasn't like high maintenance or it was just kind of chill. And so...
like a little boutique type thing?
Yeah. And so I had decided through prayer and just spending time with God that I was going to finish my senior year online. And
so I'm just going to interrupt right there because when Emily told me that, I said, I'm pretty sure I said to her, she is not hearing from God. There's no way that God would tell her not to come back to campus and abandon us.
Well, to tell you the truth, like over the summer, it was rough. Like I was just really struggling with some things and distraught, super emotional. Like, gosh, my poor parents. It's like I just didn't know what was going on, and I felt really like I was really struggling. And so after I made the decision to do online, and it's like there was a little bit of anxiety of I don't want to leave like my friends, I don't want to leave my people, and because I don't really have that community back home. And so I was like, okay, God, like I really feel like this is what you're asking me to do, and so I'm going to do it, and made that decision. And then a couple weeks later, I got a call from one of the pastors at the church that I work at, And he was like, what are you doing this summer? And I said, well, I was working at this retail shop, and I actually decided to move home and finish school online.
Okay, at what point in the summer did this phone call happen?
This was like the end of July.
So the summer's just about over.
Yeah.
And at what point in the summer did you decide I'm staying home and going online?
Maybe I think it was like 2 weeks before that.
So like the beginning of July?
Yeah.
Summer. Okay. So right in the middle of the summer, I've been wrestling with this. I have to go online. 2 weeks later, I have thoughts. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. So he calls me and is like, hey, we're looking for somebody to fill this position. And he was like, do you want to come in and talk about it, or do you just want to like decide right now over the phone? And I was like, I'm definitely a person, in my mind I was thinking, oh man, I really want this, but I just wanted to go in and hear him out and just talk face to face and on a personal level. And so we just had a conversation, and I was like, yes, this is what I'm going to do. Feels right. And so I was still working at the retail shop, and I was kind of nervous to let that go, just because I had formed a really good relationship with my boss. And I was just like, oh man, like I felt like we were starting to connect and kind of do some discipleship type things. And I didn't want to leave her. And I went and told her we had a conversation, and it was great. And she was super excited about what was going on. And also, she's also a believer, and it was like, well, you can't deny like what God like has for you and stuff. And so, yeah.
So before Emily and I came here to Central, like there was a year and a half, it was almost a year and a half to the day, where the Lord told me he was preparing us for something new. So for like a year, like 12, 16 months, I'm like praying. I'm like, well, what? He didn't give me a time frame. He just said, I've got something new for you. Okay, so we're like praying, and we're like waiting, and we're just trying to figure out what is this next thing that he has. Finally, we decide, like she was working, I had this other thing that I was doing, and we decided, okay, we're just going to take a step in faith to do this thing. He said something new, so we don't know, so let's just trust him. And it was like 2 weeks later. So it's like when you make that decision to 2 weeks later, we got a call from Dr. Fincher, and it was like, hey, I have jobs for you guys. And we're like, excuse me? Like we weren't like reaching out to him at all. Like the school reached out to us. And so just as you're telling your story, I'm like, yes, there's something about like choosing and taking the action to submit when God says, this is what I want for you. And you're like, okay, I'm in. I don't know what that looks like, but I trust you. And then he's like, okay, now here's the next thing for you to do.
Yes. Yeah. I think that like looking back at it, and my anxiety and just like emotional state over the summer, I think it's just like sometimes you can't comprehend what God has prepared for you. And it's not like you can necessarily predict what's going to happen, but I'm so thankful that was just like a season of my life. But it was also, it's cool to look back and see it in a different perspective and see like, man, God was really, like, it's humbling. God was really looking out for me. And all we have to do, which it sounds simple and sometimes it's hard, is like the submission and the obedience to be like, okay, God, like, I can't do this. You have to.
Yeah.
So
what's going to be really crazy is if you continue to actively look for the ways he's speaking to you and leading you, you're going to look back in 5 years and be like, I wouldn't even be here if I hadn't had chosen to go online at that moment. Like, that's the thing that if you continue to obey and follow, you're going to find yourself in this place where you're like, wow, I never would have been here.
You know what's so crazy is the summer after my freshman year of college, I was doing camp teams. And so I went in, so the pastor that called me I went in and met with him for a little bit, and he brought this same job up to me, and I was like, oh yeah, like I was in a weird...
The summer you were in camp teams.
Yeah, so
okay.
like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like really struggling with some things, and I applied for the job, and I was like, I could really see myself doing this, but at that time, I think I was trying to run away from things I needed to like deal with, if that makes sense. And so me and the pastor talked about it, and I was at a camp in Indiana, and he called me and was like, as much as I want you in this position, I think you need to give it another shot. Like, go back to school, give it another shot. And thank God he did, because I think that my sophomore and junior year of college were such blessings, and opportunities came, and God really provided and was faithful. And so it's really interesting and really cool to look back at, okay, so I applied for this job 2.5 years ago, and it didn't work out. Thank God. But here I am, and in this job that I'm in such a different place of life, and not necessarily running away from things, you know.
We never would have roted.
We never would have written Unseen Victory.
Unseen Victory. Now on Apple Music.
Yeah.
But you also started your blog. Are you still doing that?
I haven't for a while. It's just kind of like just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Which was also Unseen Victory. And that was about your journey.
With type 1 diabetes, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like, and that's Unseen Victory, it's just on Facebook? Do you have any other place that you like?
It's just on Facebook.
So, when you were doing that, what do you feel like that produced in you? So, like, was that healing for yourself? Was it building relationships and healing for other people? Was it just like developing something in you to take the next step? What was the...
I think there was a lot more confidence produced, as far as like, in the beginning years of living with type 1, like there was no confidence, and I was afraid to like tell people, or like I didn't want to be a burden, whatever. But confidence to not be afraid of like this disease or illness that has given me the opportunity to like deepen my faith in God and share with others of like, yeah, this might really like stink right now, but if you look back at it and change your perspective, you can see God through it. And so I think it also having confidence that I don't need to be insecure about this. And so I think it's also given me confidence in the opportunities that God has given. Like sometimes we don't feel good enough or worthy enough of the things that he's provided. But what's interesting is like, okay, God's provided this and he's going to help you through it. And so I think for me, that's just what was necessary at the time, is like I was super confident in a lot of things, and being able to share some things about living with type 1 diabetes and the opportunities of that really, I think just enhanced it and even built my confidence in God.
Yeah.
Of like, this doesn't have to be a burden, but a testimony of who Jesus is.
What is your internship going to be when you do go to Albania?
Like, what are the things I'll be doing?
Yeah.
So they have a church plant, and they also, a big thing that they do is teach English. They have like an English course for kids. And so that and worship ministry, discipleship, home groups.
So basically just stepping
it's
into a
just
church
like,
and
yeah,
doing churchy things, churchy duties.
Yeah.
So like, Okay, I'm the director of marketing here, but I don't have a degree in marketing. Mm-hmm. Like, I left Central when I graduated in 2011 with the vision that I'm going to be a preacher. Mm. I did youth ministry for like 5 years. Then I was a preaching pastor for like 8 years. And then I co-led a house church. But every step of the way, I'm like figuring out, okay, when I was a youth pastor, I was like trying to learn and figure out, how do I effectively communicate visually and organically through videos with youth? And then as a senior pastor, how do I do it with adults? How do I really hate advertising church, but you're trying to like communicate to your community, right? And so all of these things that I'm doing in my role in ministry, I'm just like learning to do them out of necessity for my job. Mm-hmm. And then I get a call like, hey, I want you to come to the school. And I end up being the director of marketing. And I'm looking back at all the things that in those positions that God had put me, I had to learn how to do that. So I'm just thinking like in terms of, whether it or not it's Albania or what comes after that, because every step is like God. But the key to this is if you're obedient, God can use anything in your life 100% for sure. And I'm not saying he doesn't, but there's something different about when we're obedient. Mm-hmm. And God says, I want you to do this. And we're like, okay, whatever you say, I'm in. And then he's like, okay, now because you're in this, I can like cultivate in you. I have a good friend of mine, his name's Steve Beatty. And he always says, God is preparing you for the thing he's preparing for you. Mm. So at every step of the way, especially when we're obedient, I'm just like trying to imagine like, okay, you're going to Albania, you're going to be doing churchy duties. What are all the things, like even this, like, whoa, I mean, it's never what we imagine that it's going to be.
Yes, you're so true.
But you're in a place right now where you're learning like the mechanics and the structure, how all the wheels and the cogs turn to keep the church functioning. Like, I'm excited to imagine like, okay, what are you learning right now in this job that you're going to be like, whoa, I would not have been able to do this in Albania if I didn't have that role in my church to begin with, or something like that. I just think of all the ways that God does that, and it's just really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, wait, were you asking?
Nope. I was just, blubbering.
I was like, did I miss that question?
Yeah, answer the question, Meeg.
I think there's been a lot of, I didn't know what was going to come of this job. Mm-hmm. I didn't know, I knew nothing. I did not know how to manage an office or anything. And it's kind of intimidating because don't ever think you're too young for an opportunity that God has clearly provided. And that's something that I used to struggle with a lot, and I still sometimes struggle with it. But it's you have to tell yourself, if God has provided this for me and the door hasn't closed, well, I'm not too young. Don't limit yourself, I guess.
Wow.
So when I started this job and learning all of these new things, in the beginning, it was kind of difficult because I also am somebody that's I like to learn new things, but sometimes it's hard when everyone around you knows what they're doing and you don't. So it's you kind of fall into that comparison trap. And so I kind of felt like that in the beginning. And it's no one's ever said I was doing anything wrong. It was my own, I was telling myself that. And I was just lying to myself pretty much. And so
imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're telling yourself things that are untrue. And it's the devil's trying to get at you, basically. And so,
can I just interrupt real quick? Because I'm just thinking whoa. Okay. So God made Adam and Eve in his own image. So they were already like God, and the devil's like, hey, you can be like God. And the lie was they're not already the image that they want to be. Like you're already the thing that you wanted to be. You're already the thing that God created you to be. And I'm just thinking in terms of like imposter syndrome, I'm too young, like, bro,
it's a real thing.
God made this, you're already the person that God made you to be. Just be it. Like,
yeah, and I can look back at times in my life where it was almost like, even with this Albania thing, like I said no multiple times before I said yes, just because I was like, oh, I'm too young. Like, it's all the way across the world, and I don't have that kind of money. Like, and I have to fund for this. I have to ask for help, and it's just like one lie after another, and you start to like, you just believe it. And so I kept saying no before I said yes, because eventually it was like every other door shut and this one stayed open. And it took me forever to realize, like, okay, God, like, I'm listening. I understand now. And so everything leading up to this point has been like, okay, God provided this, and just in like an unexpected way. And it's like, okay, this is what God wants.
But then there's also this element of like, if you're too young or like unqualified, like that's the MO that God's looking for, though, right? Like I don't think he ever picks anyone who thinks that they're hot stuff and just knows like, oh, I got this guy. I mean, I guess Abraham, slept with his, he thought he had, I could take care of this. Don't worry. I got it. Okay.
Don't you worry.
Yeah, but that's kind of like the ideal candidate that God's like, all right, who doesn't have their life together, who's too young, who's unqualified. That's my kind of employee. Yeah. Say, oh man, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, side note, did you ever play the game?
Like the hide and seek one?
Here?
Yeah, I love it.
So I had never played, but we did our Pursue event in October, and Emily was leading the night activity, and we're like, I think we should play the game. And I was like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing. That game is amazing. Quick shout out. Anybody else ever played the game?
It makes me laugh so hard. Oh my gosh.
Well, and everyone's like screaming and it's pitch black and
yeah, when I on move-in weekend my freshman year, we played it, and it was like, you just don't know what you're getting yourself into when you play a game that's called The Game.
The Game, right. What does that mean?
Yeah, and then like all the lights are out, and then they put that red light in the gym, and it's just like, wow. But it's funny because everyone kind of just will let loose and just like screaming.
Was that like, as a freshman, did you know anybody?
No.
Okay, so you coming in as a freshman.
Yeah.
It's the first weekend you move in. You don't know anybody. And you're playing this. You're like, sign up to play this game you know nothing about. Was that like weird? Like, what were you thinking?
I don't know. Like, I just kind of go with the flow. It was definitely like, I do think it is a cool, like, first, like, icebreaker kind of thing, because everyone's like, oh, go over here. Like, you're having to hide with people and all this stuff. And, yeah, the first time I ever played was quite an experience and hilarious. But, yeah, I always enjoy it. It's
something else, yeah.
Yeah, unless you, like, get hurt really bad. Just, like, have fun with caution, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I've heard stories. So that always, like, deterred me from playing, but it's worth the risk. Oh, by the way, Kill Ball this semester, did you poke your head into the gym while they were playing?
No, I didn't know they were playing today.
20 people or more every day.
Well, I've seen like videos and stuff on social media, which has been really awesome.
Like when we were student here, that was like our thing.
Mm-hmm.
And all like this semester, there's 20 people and they're different. It's like a rotation. It's so
that's really
good to like, and the different athletes are playing. You got volleyball, soccer, basketball, non-athletes. Like that's this like unifying
That's
thing.
the point. That's the point.
It's been really, really fun. Emily and I will play. Actually, did Emily tell you that she ripped her calf muscle playing kill ball?
Like recently?
Yeah, like a few weeks ago. For Pursue in October. When we had the Pursue event, we were playing and she ripped her calf muscle and was out for the rest of the weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, and it's not like you don't use that every day, right?
Right.
Oh man.
But she got it taken care of. Okay, back to Albania. So you're going to be in Albania in the spring?
I leave in January, yep.
And are you going to finish your last semester online in Albania?
So I will be doing one class plus my SME online.
But that's it. That's the last of your...
But then when I come back from Albania, I'll have 3 more classes. So like the 8-week period, which I think I'll have to start my 3 other classes just a little bit because my internship is like almost 3 months. So,
but you theoretically will walk in March or May.
Oh yeah, I'll be done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It flies by.
It does. Like all summer, Emily and I were like, this campus is boring. There's no one here. And we just couldn't wait for students to get here. But now it's like, there's like 3 weeks left of the semester.
Yeah.
And then next semester is going to disappear and then it'll be summer again. Do you have any idea what you're doing after you graduate?
I have no idea, to be quite honest. Something that I really would like to take care of before it's like I'm open to whatever God has, but there's just like, you know, when you have student loans to pay off, like I think that's just something that I would like to get out of the way and not have it hang over my head, which it's not like I don't have a lot, but it's like if I can get this out of the way quickly, then so yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I would love to selfishly do the cross-cultural missions, but
yeah. Have you Googled what Albanian boys look like?
I mean, I've looked at pictures of like, okay, what does the culture of Albania look like? And there has been boys in there, so
Are they kind of Meg's style?
I hope nobody from Albania is watching. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I mean, if the opportunity were to arise, maybe, but it's just
what I mean, and I'm not trying to like embarrass you or anything, but
you can
we've
say
had
anything.
the conversation, like we've talked about what's on your list of like if I'm gonna marry a godly man, what is that?
What's on that list? Standard, I guess. Well, definitely somebody who loves Jesus more than anything, but personally, like if it's always like such a like hard, maybe not hard question to ask, because I don't want to seem like selfish or like, oh wow, your standards are way up here, you know. Right. But I think somebody that also desires to do missions, and I'm not saying it necessarily has to be cross-culturally, but if you don't have a heart for it, then, or not a willingness, if you don't have a willingness to do it, then I'm not sure that That's just the desire of your heart is, I want someone who loves Jesus and just wants to bring people to Jesus. Yeah. And honestly too, like living with type 1 diabetes, like I've lived with this for over half my life, 11 years. And so I just think somebody that's willing to come alongside me and support, because when you are with somebody that has a medical condition that's like, you know, not to sugarcoat, but like death is a possibility, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's really important to be upfront honest with somebody about that. Like, hey, this is my life, and I don't let it hinder the things that I want to do, but there also can sometimes be like sacrifices that you have to be willing to make. Like, you know, if something happens, are you willing to just get up from the table and leave with me to like go and do this?
Right.
But I think, yeah, somebody that is just patient and willing to be supportive, because sometimes living with it can be really difficult. And it like with my family, it's a we thing. It's not just a me thing. Like, they have seen the worst of it and been in the nitty gritty of it. And so somebody that's not afraid of that either, because it can get pretty ugly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a big thing for sure. But,
I think about like Hosea, right? Like, have you ever considered like if God was like, Meg, this is the person I want you to marry, and you're like, oh, that is not the person I had in mind.
Are you sure, God?
It's the we're gonna go back to that no until finally you say yes.
I'll say no 5 times before I say yes.
Well, that's actually interesting, because when I was a student, I had Dr. Fincher as a teacher. And he said, say no 3 times. Because if it is from the Lord, he'll persist. If it's not, you don't want to jump into something too eagerly.
Yeah.
So when you said that you didn't just accept the job over the phone, but you're like, I'm going to go in and have a conversation. I'm like, yeah, I think that's wise. That's prudent. Like, because our first ministry, I was a youth pastor, and there was this church in Phoenix, Arizona. We were in Illinois, and they kept bugging me. They're like, hey, we want you to apply. We want you to apply. And I was like, I'm in ministry. No. And we said no 3 times. When they asked us again, or it was the 3rd time they asked us, and we're like, well, maybe we should. Dr. Fincher said, if it comes a 3rd time, pray about it. And we prayed about it, and then all of a sudden the dominoes fell, and we ended up doing ministry in Phoenix, Arizona for like 3.5 years. And that was, again, one of those whole, like, it was the Lord's timing. It was submitting to him. Yeah, so there is prudence in saying no. And you know, is this really the Lord, or is this just Jonathan?
Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes it can be easy to let the opinions and distractions of the world like speak into like what's really true. 'Cause like, I don't know, I've had conversations with people that have said like, man, your standards are really high, and like my mom has always said, and I agree with this, like don't ever like disregard somebody based off like how they look, or you know, like just don't be closed-minded. And I can agree with that, but there's also like, if I don't know, like you got to let God like work through that. And so like I'm almost 22, I've never dated, nothing. And
what if the guy just came up to you like and asked you to marry him? Like no dates, no nothing.
Like if I didn't know him?
Well, I'm just saying, like, let's say you know the guy, but he's not like, he doesn't ask you out, and he's just like, he pulls a total Isaac and Rebecca, like, hey, let's get married.
I mean, it would like definitely depend on our relationship, but I mean, when you know, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have any experience, but
well, this took an unexpected turn. Back to Albania.
That's so hilarious. I'll tell you whatever.
Meg, I'm genuinely like always so joyful when you're around, and I'm really glad you're here today.
Me too.
Okay, see ya.
All right, bye.